I just said that molecules can move through the plasma membrane and enter or exit a cell. The way that molecules move through the plasma membrane is called diffusion. Diffusion is when molecules move from a high concentration to a low concentration until they reach equilibrium. Look at the animation in the top right. We have a bottle of perfume. There's lots of perfume molecules inside that bottle, and when you lift off the top, the molecules move from inside the bottle, which has a high concentration of perfume molecules, to outside the bottle. It's moving from a high concentration to a low concentration until it reaches equilibrium. What is equilibrium? Equilibrium simply means equal, until the concentration on either side is equal. When you put a lump of sugar into a beaker or a glass of water, diffusion happens. All of these sugar molecules, when you put them in, are originally in a high concentration. They're all together. And then they move out throughout the water. You might call it disperse, you might call the sugar moving, but really the scientific world would call it diffusion. Molecules are moving from a high concentration to a low concentration until they have equaled out. Diffusion requires no energy for molecules to move from a high concentration to a low concentration. It happens automatically. It does not need any ATP. Let's practice this concept. Which direction will the molecules move? So let's pretend this is two cells. I know it doesn't look like it, but let's pretend. There's a cell on the right and there's a cell on the left, and they're split by a plasma membrane, which is the outside border of the cell. Notice on the right we have, I don't know, I'm just guessing, like 10, 12 yellow dots, and over here we have 6 yellow dots. If the yellow dots represent molecules, which side has a higher concentration of yellow dots? The left side or the right side? The right side. The right side has a higher concentration. Diffusion is the movement of molecules from a high concentration to a low concentration. So these yellow molecules will move from the right side to the left side. That's diffusion. All you need to know is which direction will the molecules move. It always goes from a high concentration to a low concentration. What about this picture? This is a little tougher. Let's pretend this balloon here is actually a cell and it's covered in a plasma membrane. Inside the cell has a concentration of molecules of 0.05. Outside the cell there's a concentration of molecules of 0.03. Therefore, which one is the higher number? Which has a higher concentration? Inside. Therefore, the molecules will move from inside the cell to outside the cell. Last one. Which direction will the molecules move? They will move to the right because there's a higher concentration on the left, a lower concentration on the right. So remember that diffusion is the movement of molecules from a high concentration to a low concentration. Once the molecules move, they eventually reach equilibrium, which means that molecule concentration is equal on both sides. Once this happens, the molecules continue to move, but they now move equally in both directions. Here's the last practice problem. Which direction will the molecules move? So let's pretend there's 0.6 of a concentration of molecules on the outside, 0.2 on the inside. It looks like there's a higher concentration outside, 0.6, versus inside the cell, 0.2. So the molecules will move in. They always move from high to low. Which direction will the molecules move here? High to low, which is into the cell. Which direction will the molecules move? Looks like the concentration is equal. If it's equal, the molecules move in both directions equally. Which direction will the molecules move? Out of the cell, because it's higher inside the cell than outside of the cell, so the molecules will move out. Which direction will the molecules move? Into the cell. Finally, why are we talking about diffusion? Well, molecules in our body are constantly diffusing from outside of our cells into our cells, or vice versa. Every time you breathe, you inhale oxygen into your lungs, and then the oxygen diffuses from your lungs through your lung cells and into your bloodstream. The concentration of oxygen in your lungs is high, and the concentration in your blood is low. So oxygen diffuses from your lungs into your blood. That's diffusion.